Hello there, Internet. It's your boy Krypno here. As always, good to see you. Welcome to installment number 3 on what it's like to own cars. So obviously, my most viewed videos on my channel seem to be things about my cars. So here's number 3. This one right here, as alluded to in my channel update, which you can check out in the top right corner of your screen. This is my newest car. It is a 2017 Ford Fusion. Boy, is it awesome. It is so awesome. Compared to my Ranger and my Altima, this is far, far beyond the best car I've ever owned. Even though this is only my 3rd one I've ever owned, this is still by far the best one. And objectively, it's a really nice car to begin with anyway. This was one of my goals once I got my full-time job at where I work now, was to work up to save up for a nice new car. Because whilst the Ranger was pretty handy, it has stranded me multiple times, and that wasn't quite fun. And so the trust I had in the Ranger was wearing thin. So I felt like it was time to get a new one, and so I ponied up. I put about $2,000 down for this one. I saw this at the story of me getting this is around the time of October. I bought this in October of 2020, and around that time, I knew nothing about what exactly I wanted. The one kind of key detail I noted was I really, really liked the look of the new Honda Civic, which you will see on screen. I mean, I'll show it on screen anyway. I know you've probably seen it, but I'm showing it to you anyway. I really, really like the look of the Honda Civic. I think they're gorgeous, and I really wanted to see if I could get one of those. So the first thing I did was I went to my local Honda dealer, and I went and sat in one. And I technically fit, but it wasn't very comfortable. So what the lady at the Honda dealer said, you know what? Why don't you try an Accord? And so I went and sat in like a 2017 Accord, and I was like, ooh, I like this. And she said, do you want to do a test drive? I'm like, am I allowed to do that? And she's like, yeah, go right ahead. So I took the 2017 Honda Accord for a test drive, and I fell in love with it. I really, really liked it. Thing is, it was a used one at the dealer, so the payments were pretty high. So I put that on the back burner, but I knew in my head that I could see that you can get a slightly even older Accord of the same body style for even less money. So that's kind of what I had in my head, is okay, I want to see if I can find an Accord like that. So that particular Saturday, we went to go take a look around the various dealerships, and what did I see at the Chevy dealer? I saw the very Accord that I had my eyes on for a very while. I'm like, but then my dad's like, okay, you know what? Hear me? Let's go take a look at some other cars. I'm like, okay, let's do that. So the first one we looked at was actually this one. This was the very first we looked at, and I really, really liked it. But then I was like, okay, let's go drive some more. So then we went to the Toyota dealership. We tried out a 2014 Toyota Corolla, and it was pretty good, but the features as far as like the entertainment, the entertainment screen, I wasn't really too fond of. Then we went to the Chevy dealer, and we then tried out a hatchback 2018 Chevy Cruze, and it was cheap. It felt really cheap. It was like $14,000, but it felt cheap. Touchscreen was, the controls were, and I'm like, I'm not about this. So then finally, since we were at the Chevy dealership, we were like, okay, I want to see this Accord. So I went to go see it. $8,000. The reason why it's $8,000 is because it had over 200,000 miles on it. So like, okay, this Accord's probably not for me, which kind of sucked. But I really, 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 really liked this one. So I decided to pick it up. So I decided to put about $2,000 down and finance the rest. The sticker price at the dealership for this was about $12,500. And I didn't do it through the dealer. I did it through USAA. That was how I financed the car, and got some pretty decent car payments. I pay about $153 every 2 weeks. I set it so that every time my paycheck comes, it will automatically be deducted from my paycheck. So yeah, that's the story about this one. What I've noticed is, because so that's October. It's now April, so it's about 5 or 6 months, and I love it. The only thing I haven't done yet with this car is I haven't gone cross state, but I have gone in a 160-mile circle around back to my house, driving through the mountains of, I want to say, like, Fraser Park. And that's about the craziest drive I ever took in this thing, and sure enough, you took it like a champ. The only rough things I could really think about of this car is, number one, because I'm over 6'2", getting in and out of this car is slightly concerning because the door ceiling is a little low, so I kind of have to duck my head. Sometimes I do actually hit my head when going into the car, but that's not the car's fault. That's just me being super tall. Secondly, even though it's a 2017, the dash is simply just a Bluetooth music player. That's pretty much it. I mean, there are a couple little, like you can go to Sirius XM, you can go to the radio station, stuff like that. But as far as the dash, like the entertainment screen, it's not too great compared to other cars. But I will say, at the very least, compared to my Ranger and my Altima, it is far beyond that. Being able to play my Bluetooth. And I don't have my parents have Sirius XM, but I haven't gotten onto their plan just yet. But we'll see about that. Yeah, that's about the biggest things I can think of. I guess the next thing I could do is I could take you to some various quirks around the car, if I can think of any off the top of my head. But if I do, we'll transition to them now. Okay, so first thing of note, once again, to reiterate, this interior is so much better than the Altima and the Ranger. Again, I don't have a ton of experience with fancy cars or like fast cars, but as far as the cars that I have driven in, this is by far the best. It's nice and seated, and the last person who had this car took very, very good care of the car, and it shows. It's very nice. The one thing I can tell you is that whoever owned this last left the window sticker inside this car, and whoever bought this new bought it for about $26,000. The one thing I noticed is that this was a custom ordered car. Actually, no, I won't show you the window sticker. I will just point something out here. You can see it from the distance. But it was a special order. You can see right there, hopefully. And some interesting things of note. There is the what else is there? There's the SCA Performance or Appearance Package, 18-inch rims, a rear spoiler. That added about $1,000 onto this car. The base price of this car in 2017 was about $23,000, and you got about $3,000 in options. And yes, this it does say that's pretty accurate. It does say 27 miles per gallon combined, and that's about what I get. So it's pretty hasn't deteriorated in the last 4 years of its life. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that whoever owned this left the window sticker in the car. But I mean, if he special ordered it, I think that might make sense. Special ordered it, see what happened to the car. That way you kind of know what's up. So, on to something else. So there are, there are two things I guess I'll point out last here in the car, because there isn't really anything that stands out to me other than obviously the quirks of the interior, the entertainment screen, and how nice the interior is. The other two I can think of is, first off, how beautiful this car is. I came in here and looked at, and obviously I wasn't too familiar with Fusions. I came to this car and I wasn't really too familiar with Fusions, but now that I own one and I see one on the road, they all suck. All of them look like grandpa cars, but I'll do a quick rock around as a B-roll here. But it looks so good, like with the silver trim, The fact that it's been kept in nice clean. There is a little dent right here and a teensy bit of scratches, but other than that, it's really clean. These rims really good. The silver trim around the headlights, the spoiler. I don't know how I managed to do this, but I managed to score a really nice Fusion at the Kia dealership. And I guess the last thing of note is how the fuel door opens. You don't necessarily have to do it from the inside, like in the Altima and the Ranger. There was a little trunk release, a hood release that you do, or not hood release, sorry, fuel door release that you would pull inside. But here, simple as that. You push down, open it up, and you just stick your thing in. No little gas cap, no hood release. You just boom, done, closed up. And I think that's super cool. It being able to do that. It's, again, I scored here. This is a really nice car, and I really like it. And I hope you guys can see how nice a car it is. So yeah, on to the outro. All right, so that's been the third installment of owning the particular cars that I own. Since you guys seem to like this, let me know. Should I go on Turo on like rent an interesting car for a weekend and see what that's like, and talk about it? Because I think that might be something that I could do, is find an interesting car on Turo, or borrow a car from a friend and borrow it for a while and tell you what it's like. Because again, the most viewed videos on my channel seem to be videos about my car and talking about my car and cars in general. So, yeah, let me know in the comments down below, because I think I might actually do that. So, but yeah, as always, if you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a dislike. If your feelings go beyond that, leave a comment down below. As always, been your boy Krypno, signing off. Peace.